Hey there, welcome back to Cisco Reads Books. We're doing another Military Thriller Thursday today, and today we are reviewing the 1989 book, Day of the Cheetah. Um, in the Patrick McClanahan universe, this is book four. So we return with Patrick McClanahan. He's working at Dreamland. He is working alongside Kenneth James, um, and working on the Dream Star, right? Hold on. Yes, the Dream Star. The Dream Star is the next fantastic, high tech, super fucking crazy fighter jet that America is now producing or is trying to produce, but they are testing it at Dreamland first, as goes military production. So the Dream Star is an interesting plane. It is the first plane that uses a pilot's mind to control it through a program called Antares. Uh, this is obviously going to be problematic. But before we get into that, the plane is stolen by Kenneth James, somebody that Patrick has been working alongside of this entire time. So Patrick McClanahan has a plan, though, and he jumps in the Cheetah, which is a modified F-15 with an extra set of wings, basically. But it makes it more maneuverable. It makes it very much a a good addition to what the capabilities of the F-15 were. So it's the right thing. So Patrick McClanahan, after this plane is hijacked, we come to find out by the Russians very early on in the book. Patrick McClanahan flies out after it, and this guy is not okay. Antares is swiftly becoming a more dominant force in Kenneth James' life. So we have this computer program that controls the plane. It's almost like a drug almost. So when he's not in the state that he needs to be in to fly that plane, he's losing it a little bit. Um, and this is honestly probably one of my favorite books that I've read in this series so far. Day of the Cheetah was just amazing. Um, this is a lot of air combat is in this. We're not used to seeing Patrick McClanahan as a fighter jock, but he does that in this book, and he's phenomenal. Um, we definitely there's some issues that happen. They go to South America, and they're basically invading um, several airspaces of people that aren't too happy about American fighter jets kind of flying into their airspace. Um, but we can't really announce that we lost the next fucking stealth plane, to everybody, because then everybody will be bidding on that shit on the black market. But that's where we're at. This is crazy. One of, like I said, this is my favorite so far in the Patrick McClanahan series. And just this book is so influential when we get to the Dreamland series, specifically book two in the Dreamland series, Nerve Center, has a lot to do with this. Because basically they don't learn from their fucking mistakes, as is typical when it comes to the military and just life in general. People don't usually learn from their mistakes. They need to be beaten in the face at least twice to get the point. Um, well, in that book, they try to revive Antares, and it doesn't go well. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, Day of the Cheetah, it's fantastic. Dale Brown is a master of air combat. The air combat sequences in this book are just bar none, high flying, dog fighting adventure, and I fucking love it. Like, the more that we get of Dale Brown writing air combat sequences, the better. um, because they're just phenomenal. Um, as is probably apparent at this point, like the kind of difference between the series will come out. The Patrick McClanahan series and the Dreamland series up until book 10 are very much aviation battles and that kind of stuff. In the last six books of Dreamland, it does turn a little bit spy thrillery, and they kind of do some weird things, but it's phenomenal. Um, the series as a whole is great. I'm working through the Patrick McClanahan because I like to do shit, ass backwards. So I read the spin-off series first because that's what I found first. And then now I'm backfilling going through the Patrick McClanahan. And now that I'm reading the Patrick McClanahan series, and like so I when I read this book, I was like, oh shit, I know what Antares is because I read Nerve Center. And I was like, so that's the background. This is the guy that they were alluding to in Nerve Center that I didn't know who the fuck it was because I hadn't read the Patrick McClanahan series yet because, like I said, I do shit ass backwards. Um, Now I know. So I was reading this and I was getting a whole bunch more out of the Dreamland series with having read these books now. Um, or this book in particular now. And even like Fatal Terrain has another tie-in that that'll be pretty evident once you if you read both series, you'll see the tie-in parts. But at this point, Day of the Cheetah, this after this book is where the Dreamland series starts, um, which I won't go into because that'll spoil some things in this book. But yeah, Day of the Cheetah is basically the last like standalone Patrick McLean or Patrick McCallahan novel before it kind of pairs off where it's like, all right, you read um Shadows of Steel is the next book in the Patrick McClanahan series, and that basically coincides with book one of Dreamland. And it's like really short. I think you read Shadows of Steel first, and then the first book of Dreamland happens like 2 weeks to a month after the events of Shadow of Steel. So it's crazy, like the continuity tie-ins that you get from this shit. Uh, hey there, guys, it's editing Kyle. I misspoke earlier when I said that after Shadows of Steel that the Dreamland series starts. That was wrong. Um, after Flight of the or Day of the Cheetah, Dreamland starts in between Day of the Cheetah and Shadows of Steel. So there will be a book review for the first book of Dreamland and then Shadows of Steel for the next two Military Thriller Thursdays. Editor Kyle signing out. And honestly, I think that's the way going forward that I will be reading it. And honestly, I've already started or restarted the Dreamland series, so like going through that again and reading them side by side now and kind of taking my time to like see the continuity between both of these book series is just phenomenal. The work that he puts in to make that shit happen is nuts. Um, so I'm really enjoying that. And yeah, that's all I got. That was a long ass rant about two series that you probably don't know much about yet, but I highly suggest both series, Patrick McClanahan and Dreamland. Read them together because they're fucking awesome. Um, so that's it for Military Thriller Thursday today. Have fun, be safe, and until next time, read because reading is fundamental. Thanks for watching.